don't think it can add you into the meeting. So, all right. So in the last session we had, there were about, if you all can see this, we had about 50% or total of 50% here. So let me show you from here so you can see it. There's a way we track the attendance, right? So this is the last session we had, the cloud engineering D17 session, right? And if you watch here, there's something we call attendance. And if you click the attendance, you will see a total of 51 person, excluding myself, right? Mrs. Vivian was not able to join the last session. So, which means a total of 50 persons attempted join the session. Now, this 50 persons is in we're considering both those who joined for few seconds, for few minutes, and those who joined for 30 minutes, and those who joined for 1 hour, and those who joined till the end of the meeting. And you may be wondering, how do I know this? Because actually the attendance tracker tracks everything. You understand? So for instance, I was the first person who joined. And if you see, this is 808. I don't know if you all can see it, but if you can see it, that would be great. So, but it shows the time when I joined. It shows the time when I left the meeting and how long I stayed in the meeting. You understand? 2 hours, 41 minutes. So if you notice some other handles like 9 minutes. So most of these things could be network issue and the rest of them. Okay, so that's how we track. So, but why am I even showing this? So the idea was when I designed this documentation, I had 300 persons in mind. Do you understand? I had 300 persons in mind. So, but since not everybody has been very, very active in considering that not everybody, we wouldn't want anybody to stall their partner, right? So we will be using the 50 names of 50 persons that participated in the last session. Okay, so I think that would be fair. Except if you all have an alternative, please let me know. Else we can send the emails to everybody. Okay, so the idea is to have team names. Okay, so we're going to group each person's 5%. Okay, we have 6 sample projects, 6 sample project topics, right? Let me show you so you can see what I mean. Let's see. Okay, now this is, let's do this project brief. Good. Yep. So these are the possible projects. Yeah, that's a good idea. But the challenge we usually have is sometimes I get people who reach out to me, Mr. Babatunde, at the end of the program, and they tell me that at the end of the day, they tell me that they watched the video, but they couldn't join because of their work. You understand? So they might not be able to join the sessions in real time, but they usually participate. So because of that, I really hope those people will not will also be available to participate. Okay, so the idea is these are suggested topics. Okay, these are suggested topics. Okay, now project 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we don't want much details from any one of you. We don't want anything much. Okay, now because so not everybody here is a developer. I might try and get the codes for you all, like a code sample for you all, right? Now, but the idea is this: if we have only 30 persons, because I considered the last real-time people who participated in the real-time session, we had about 30 persons also. So because of that, I said created 6 projects and said 5 persons per project, right? So if there are 5 persons per project, it means that you guys can choose any team name here. Okay, so we can allocate the team names, maybe 5 persons to a particular team, 5 persons to another team. You understand? But these are the sample names that we have. Okay. Now, the next thing is within your team, you are expected to generate, assign roles to yourself. You understand? Now, but these are just demo names, not necessarily what you may have as a skill set. You understand? Uh-huh. So, but you can just wear some of these roles based on your function in your team. You understand? So if you join a team, for instance, call Cloud Conqueror, okay, or data defenders. So you're among the data defenders team, right? Now, in that team of 5 persons, right, you are going to designate roles to yourself. Okay. Now, once you designate roles to yourself, it could be for different functions, different responsibilities. Okay. You just have a discussion. Okay. Assess your strengths, each person can choose, or you can decide how you want to designate. You can choose a team lead amongst yourself. You understand? We will not be the one to choose the team lead for you all. Okay, if you want to do a poll, you can. Now, but there are tools and technologies we'll be using. We'll be exposing you to Jira. We'll be exposing you to GitHub. You understand? And also, we might use what is it called? Um, okay, think it skipped my mind. I prepared it on this. Let me see. Let's see. No, let's say, yeah. So this is using Jira for the project. So, but for now, this is just basically using GitHub and Jira. Okay. So in the last, when we started, we did a little bit on Git, but we did not dive deep into it. Okay. So three things you all will be doing. One of them is you'll be using Jira, you'll be using GitHub, and then you'll be using architectural tools like draw.io. What do I mean? If you have a project like this, so these are simple projects. Maybe one of you chose this project called real-time analytics dashboard for small businesses. Okay, so it may just be a simple dashboard that just displays some records. You understand? Now, the goal is you are supposed to put together all the technologies we exposed you all to. Do you understand? All the technologies we exposed you all to. That's what you're supposed to use. You understand? Now, I tried to do some kind of breakdown here. We're still going to do some of them. Okay. So there's something we call sprints. Sprints. Now, some of you may not have worked with as with what is it called? Collaboration tools like Jira or maybe Trello or Cloud I think Cloud House, if I'm correct, and so many other is it Cloudtition or what is it called? Confluence, right? These are collaboration tools. What do I mean by that? Teams in organizations, they work together, okay, to solve projects for projects. Okay, they work with project management, even Slack. Yes, a lot of organizations even use Slack for this purpose. Do you understand? Now, but the popular one is actually Jira, and there's another popular one coming up. It's called ClickUp. Some of you must have been intimidated with the adverts they are always showing on your YouTube channel. If you've seen something like ClickUps, always trying to say Jira is fired. You understand? So that's the kind of thing, right? So these are collaboration tools. Okay. So the first thing you are all expected to do, first thing you are expected to do is to sign up to a Jira account. Okay. You're expected to sign up Jira account. Okay. That's the first thing you're supposed to do. You're supposed to sign up and create a Jira account. Okay. Now it's free. Once you sign up and create a Jira account, it's you will be able to um work with your teams. I would have said, let me create the Jira account and then you all do the project, but I want you on I want you all to own it. Okay, I want you all to own it. But I will look into it. I'll know if I have to create it myself, and then you all start working on it individually. But I want everybody to understand what's happening. Okay. Now, why am I showing you this approach? Because this is how it's being done in the real world. Okay. If you get a job today and you join a company, this is how they solve problems. This is how they solve projects. You understand? They use tools like Jira, they use tools like GitHub, okay, to for collaboration and for other things. Okay. So first thing, please make sure you have a Jira account. Second thing, please, if you do not, please make sure you have a GitHub account. All right. Now, I want to ask a question. For those of you that are currently on this session and you can hear me audibly, please can you type, have you used GitHub before? Have you used GitHub before? Just type yes or no. You've used GitHub before, yes or no? Okay, please let me know. Okay, okay. Mr. Deboye, I will answer your question, okay? Okay. Put together. So we have no, no, yes, partially, yes, yes. Okay, fine. That's not a problem. So maybe I will do a quick crash course. Yeah, but I feel like not everybody came for a class, right? So that's why I didn't want today's session to be too lengthy. I wanted today's session to just be very, 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 very simple. Do you understand? I wanted it to be more like a brief and an intro for everybody. Do you understand? So we might still touch on the, what is it called? On the on these tools I'm mentioning. Okay, but I want everybody to just have complete understanding, okay, so that you will be able to participate in the project. Okay. Now, I also feel like whether you even if we send this email to everybody and we everybody join, I'm sure in one way or the other, even if we have two active people amongst every other person, you'll be able to lead other people. That's the interesting things. But again, I will leave that to the team lead's discretions. You understand? So once you sign up to a GitHub account and you have a Jira account, right? The next thing I want you to set up is either you want to use this tool called Miro. Okay, there's a tool called Miro. Okay, so Miro. This is Miro. So if either you want to use this Miro tool or you want to use the Excalibur, but Excalibur might not give you what you want. So we can use draw.io or diagrams.net. I think it's the same thing. Either draw.io or diagrams.net. They should be able to give you the same thing. Do you understand? So so what I'm expecting from you all is this. There are some things I deliberately did not touch. Okay. So we are this project is going to be implemented in 1 week, just 1 week. Okay. So when is it going when are we possibly going to start? So it's going to be the presentation is going to be either on Friday or Sunday next week. Okay. Final presentation is going to be Friday or Sunday next week. What do I mean by final presentation? The idea is by the time you all are done with this project, right? Each team will be doing a presentation. Okay. So I will discuss with Chief Abiola, right? So we could either do this on what is it called? On Twitter or LinkedIn or so, but something that you can invite people, you understand, and we'll share the link public so people can see you all presenting your project, what you've worked on and what you've done. Do you understand? So there will be a final presentation at the end of it. So you all will decide how you want to do it. Do you want to share the responsibilities amongst yourself so that everybody will be able to say something? Or do you want to choose one person that will talk about your project or two persons? But I think the idea should be two persons minimum. Two persons, yeah, two persons minimum, right? But everybody can do presentation. but we shouldn't have less than 2 persons. In other words, it shouldn't be just one person. Okay. The idea is for us to see how much you've learned in the project. You understand? With everything you've been exposed to. You understand? So you can either use this Miro tool, okay, or you can use this draw.io tool, okay, and you can use this to sketch architectural diagram. So let me show you something. And there's this session I'm having with my students on data engineering. Let me see.
Yeah, dear.
No, not this. Here should be this. All right, cool. All right, good. So this is, so if you watch this, right, you will see that this is an architectural diagram. This is what? An architectural diagram. Okay. So this architectural diagram is expected to interpret the project. Okay. It's expected to interpret a particular project. Okay. From my experience, I understand what this project is. Okay. This is an AWS VPC cloud, or this is a kind of hybrid. This is a cloud here. This is another cloud account here. Okay. This is connected to this one using what we call VPC endpoints. Okay. Now, but the most important thing is this is an architectural diagram, okay, that tries to show how one component communicates with another component and how users can access anything they want to access. Right now, it might look overwhelming for some of you, okay? It might look overwhelming, but there is a tool that is used to sketch this. So we use this kind of platforms to sketch it. If I want to create a VPC, I can come here and type VPC. Do you understand? And if I click here, I can, this is a VPC. You see that? So there are two of them. I can select this and press delete. You understand? So you can do this. Now this, if this is the background, it has a grid. You can even remove the grid. You understand? You can also choose to even change the background color. You understand? You can do this and say you want the background color to be white and apply it. You see that? Aha. So we're almost getting what you see here. Do you understand? And then you start putting different kinds of things. Now, I expect that your final project will have an architectural diagram. Okay, so one of the deliverable for your project is one, an architectural diagram. Okay, the second deliverable is that we will be using Jira for creating tickets. Okay, so I want to be able to see who is working on which project. Okay, is this the same for everybody? Someone says the screen is lagging. Jafar says it's lagging. Is this the same for everybody? Can you all still see my screen? Can you hear me without any hiccup? Kindly confirm. Oh, wow. I think different response. Yes, there's a recorded video. I think that we're currently recording it. I think different people, different experience. Some people say it's lagging, some say it's not lagging at all. Okay. So, well, I can't deny some of your experiences. So, but one thing I can guarantee you is that the session is being recorded. Okay. So please pardon us. All right. All right. So please let's mute ourselves. Okay. If you're not asking me a question, kindly mute yourself so that the background sound will not disrupt us when we are watching the recording. Okay. I want to encourage you all. Okay. Now, again, so there are two things I want to teach you on. Now, this is me assuming. I would have told you all to go out there because it's a project. I would have told you to go online and go and search how to do some things. Okay. Not everybody knows how to create a VPC. Not everybody knows how to sketch this architectural diagram. Okay. and not everybody knows how to use GitHub, right? So I would have said, I should, what is it called? I'd have said, let's do it this way, whereby you all go online, go and learn it, individual teams, go and learn it. This is what I want from you. I've told you what the tools and technologies you should use. Your job is to go online, go and learn it, and just get the job done. That's how it's done in the real world. You understand? So your boss is not interested in whether you know it or not. I mean, that's the reason why they pay you in the first place. You see that? So even though we've touched everything, but we did not I would have touched VPC, but it can be very, very confusing and complex. You understand? So this is what I want to do. Okay. Now, as much as I said that the sessions are over, so for those of you that do not know anything about the VPC, right? So this is what we are going to do. Today is Wednesday, right? And on Friday, if you want to join, that's fine. So the project is going to be starting next week. Okay, I want you all to use okay, do we use no, it should start on Friday. It should start on Friday so that once you're done that Friday, then Sunday will be you submit on Saturday and Friday will be presentation. I think that's the better way. But I wanted on Friday, anybody that doesn't know how to create a VPC, that doesn't know how to use GitHub, that doesn't know how to use Jira, can join the session. So I'll teach you how to use Jira. I'll teach you how to use GitHub, and I'll teach you how to create a VPC. Do you understand? So what do you guys think? First of all, just let me know your feedback. Do you want us to have the Friday session, or do we leave the responsibility on you guys to go and learn it yourself? Let me know. Can I get your responses on the comment section? So let's decide. Okay. I really want it to be as interactive as possible. My friends are saying Friday. Of course, we're going to cover it in our intermediate session. So, but still, I want to just touch it for some persons. Okay, I think majority of the persons are saying Friday. All right, so if you're going to be available and you're going to join, then that's fine. Um, Okay, Mr. Emmanuel is asking which Sunday is presentation. So Sunday for presentation is the final day, right? At the end of the day, when you all have done your projects, you understand? When you've done all your projects, right? Your team, you are done with the projects, okay? Then you're going to now present it to us. Just walk us through. Tell us what you've done. Tell us the problem your project is solving, and so on and so forth. You understand? So next week, Sunday, you understand? Next week, Sunday, it could be either by 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. We don't know yet. It could be 4 o'clock or 3. We'll communicate with you all on the particular time. Okay. But between 3, 4, or 5. Okay. Between 3 or 4. It's not going to exceed that time. So I think somebody I see 2 people saying, let's go and watch on YouTube. It's part of the learning. Let's take it as an assignment that we present on Friday. Let's learn ourselves and correct us later. Okay, as much as I think many persons are going with Friday, I think that let's do it that way then. I think it will be better if you also so so if you're having challenges, I'll be the big coach, right? I can now be guiding you. Do you understand? But if I literally have to spoon feed everybody, uh I know this is me just trying to stretch you all a little bit. You get the point, right? So I I'm thinking I'm thinking that you all should go online, right? And just do some little thing. We can always learn. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's all join the session on Friday as active participants, not just as a session. Um, so- okay, so because I feel like if you all go and learn it yourself, right, you will have different experiences rather. You understand? So okay. Um, don't worry. I'll discuss with Madam Vivian, and then whatever it is, we'll let you know if there's going to be a session on Friday for you all. You'll know you'll get the feedback from us by the end of today's session, by the end of today. Okay. If it's still going to hold on Friday, you will know. Okay. So what we just do is just a little introduction to what GitHub is. Okay. And then I think we've done something on GitHub also. I'm not sure, but maybe. So, but we'll touch on GitHub, okay? Then we'll touch on Jira, how Jira works, and then we'll learn how what is it called? How to create some simple architecture, and we might touch something a little bit on VPC. Okay. So, but it would have been awesome if you all I don't understand what Mr. Emmanuel is saying, but whatever it is. So um it will be awesome if you all can really learn these things on your own. But again, let's continue so that you all can understand what we expect. So in the project, right, the idea is that we are going to break this task into something we call sprints. Okay, there's something we call sprints or sections. Okay, so this is me saying, for example, that your project, depending on your project title, if it is cloud infrastructure for X, you understand, where X is the name of your startup. So there's something we call epics. You can create something we call epics. Okay, and this is one epic, this is another epic, this is another epic, this is another epic. Okay, and inside each of this epic, you can break it down into stories or what we call smaller tasks. Do you understand? So right now, it might not make sense until when we start doing it practically. You understand? So now the idea is you are going to create based off the, what is it called? Based on your team, you understand? And based on your projects. You understand? Remember, I said to you that you are going to choose your projects. Do you understand? You're going to choose your project. Okay. Now, I would have said we should use something very, very simple, maybe a blog, but I decided to just come up with some topics like it so that it could be more realistic, right? But I'm just not, I'm just being careful so that it will not be too complex for any one of you. Okay, so the idea is to put together all the things we've taught you, right? We've taught you how to use AWS budgets, AWS IAM, AWS what is it called? EC2 instance, S3 buckets, RDS for database, R53 for DNS, cloud fronts. You understand? So let's assume that this is a project, right? So, and for a startup or for a company or for a small business like you see here, okay? So, and 5 of you are part of this team, okay? So, and you are supposed to showcase how this project will come to life, okay? So, the first thing you might likely want to do is you remember you want to create this on what is it called? You might want to create this exactly in Jira, okay? Once you create this in Jira, right, you'll need to break down the flow of your task. It's just like you create a task and you now start breaking it down. You have a plan and then you start putting you have a goal and then you start putting different plans you're going to follow, different steps and plans you're going to follow to actualize that goal. Okay, so that's exactly the same thing here. So this is the project. You now out itemize the plans, okay, in form of epics. Okay, you itemize the plans that you use to implement this project. Okay, remember that everything will be done in 1 week. So there's something we call it sprint. Okay, so this is me saying that, for instance, okay, let me see. For instance, if this is what we want to do, right? Whereby each group of 5 participants can have a project manager, a DevOps engineer, a backend developer, security, database administrator. Now, if you notice, the names I'm using is based on the things I've touched on you guys. So this project manager is the one that oversees the progress of the project. It removes any blocker. If anybody is having issue, anybody is getting problem in his work, the project manager is responsible for it. The person will be responsible among your team. The person's job is to organize daily stand-up, depending on how you guys want to do it, because everything will be done in 1 week. So I'm thinking, I don't know if 1 week will be too small or too much. Okay. So, but this is so that it doesn't linger. All right. It's not a huge task like that. So that's why we said 1 week. Okay. So, but we expect that you guys will be having something we call daily stand-up so that you can measure your progress and know what has been done and what has not been done. Okay. More like a sprint review. Do you understand? The project manager will be doing that based on your stand-up. Okay, so based on your designation of each person's role, okay, one person might be responsible for creating the AWS accounts. You understand? So the person can be the DevOps engineer. Another person might be responsible for the code, okay, depending on the code you're using for your project. Okay, I might give you the code sample for each of these projects. Then somebody can wear the title or the hat or the role of security. The person will be responsible for creating IAM and making sure that you set up, make sure that everything is secure. Do you understand? Now, if your application is connecting to a database, so that person will be a database administrator that will be responsible for configuring RDS. The idea is that everybody is going to participate. It's not like one person cannot do this task, right? But we want you all to work as a team. You see that? So that you can see how it's being done in the real world. Do you understand? So now, once you've done the group roles and responsibilities, you set up Jira for sprints. You see that? So that's what we talked about here. You see, AWS environment setup and security, application deployment, database setup, scaling and performance, final testing and reporting. These are the epics. Then you start breaking it down into stories. Okay, so you see, each of these epics, we can call one epic a sprint. So we call it sprint. Okay, now in every sprint, there's something we call ongoing, done, um, ongoing, done, or review. Let me show you something. If I come here and say Jira sprints, and I click on images, you're going to see something that looks like this. Okay. Here, let me copy this image and share it with you all in the comment section. I hope you will find it very helpful. Okay. My board, I've been beaten by a terrible mosquito. So if you can see my image, my screen, you will see that this is a simple image, right? So these are different epics. Epic 1, Epic 2, Epic 3, Epic 4. You understand? It's more or less like saying plan 1, plan 2, plan 3, plan 4. You understand? So now in each one, this is what somebody, so it's going to be assigned to somebody. Each task will be assigned to somebody. So my job is each time I come to your dashboard, I should be able to see who is working on what. Do you understand? Aha. So once you assign the task, when you learn Jira, you're going to understand how it works. Okay. So you can know who is working on which task. And I can be able to see the progress you all are making. So if somebody is working, so this is a to-do task. Okay. If somebody is working on it, the person is supposed to move it to this section and it will be under in progress. So all these things are currently in progress. You see that? And when the person is done, the person can move it to this section called reviewing section. You see that? So once you're in reviewing section, you can reach out to me and I will come and review what you've done. If it's okay, I'll move it to done. You see that? So by the time you are done with everything, it means you are done with your project. You understand? Is this confusing? Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Please, if you understood this explanation, type yes, just to be sure you understand what I'm saying. So even though it's you've not done it before, but it's making sense gradually. Okay, good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, friends. So this is what I'm anticipating from every one of you. Okay, please, I do not want you to feel overwhelmed or give up. Okay, even if you've not done this before, this is an opportunity to partner, learn, and join with someone else so you can improve, you can learn something. Okay, I'm sure you have an area you can contribute. Okay, you might not know how to do some things, but there are areas where you can contribute, especially if you've watched the videos, especially from day 1 to maybe day 14 or day 10. Okay, there are over 17 videos there, but at least if you've watched from day 1 to day 14, I'm sure you should be able to contribute. Even day 1 to day 10, you should be able to contribute something. Okay, if not, just take the role of the project manager and be supervisor. Do you understand? So now we expect that you will break those things down and then you have different sprints. You understand? You set up the goal for that sprint and different tasks. I've said what is going to go on there. You understand? On a particular task, is going to be set up AWS budget. Okay, somebody you're going to assign it so that you know who is going to set up the budget, who is going to create an S3 bucket, who is going to create a GitHub repository account. You understand? So each person in your team knows what his job is supposed to be. You see that? So that's the teamwork. That's the collaboration we are talking about. Do you understand? So pardon me for using 2 weeks and all those things here. So the idea is that everything is going to be done in 1 week. Everything. So you all will decide how you want to do it, but this is more like a sample. Do you understand? So the idea is that at the end of it, there will be daily stand-ups and there will be sprint review. Do you understand? There will be sprint reviews. Okay. So yeah. So there's to do, in progress, review, and done, which I've shown you based on the image I've shown you. You understand? So again, these are the likely projects we will use. If we find something, if we think we want to use something simpler, maybe a simple blog. I'm thinking, okay, this is what I'm thinking. This is actually what I had in mind. I'm thinking of a simple blog that more or less like a startup called My Tech Journey. Okay, a blog that says My Tech Journey. So that blog is designed with Python. You understand? It's designed with Python. Okay. Now I'm going to give you the code for it, but your job is to make sure that you set everything up. You understand? And so there will be a database where you'll be storing data. So I am thinking of that. Or this is going to be the random topics, and then we will just say this team, this is your topic, this team, this is your topic. You understand? So, but today, the essence of today's session is just to have a brief. Okay, today's session is simply to give you an introduction to what we want you all to do in this project. Okay, so you'll be working with Jira, you'll be working with GitHub, you'll be working with what is it called? The um graphic design tool, okay, to draw architectures. Okay, Miro or draw.io or even Lucid. I think Lucid Chat does the same thing. If if you come here and type Lucid Chat, there's actually another one I saw. There's another one I've seen. So whereby you can be creating animation. You see all those architectural things there, you can be doing animation. So architectural icons with animation. Let me see. Architecture animation. Let me see. I've seen something like that. AWS. AWS architecture animation. Okay, so this kind of so sometimes you see this kind of architecture, and then you see this kind of animation that that displays how the movement is being done. Let me see if it's working on this article. Let me show you so you see what I mean. Okay, let me see. Go back. Let me see. Okay. So this is just okay, good. You see what I'm showing you? This is different things. So at the end of it all, it's supposed to be moving like, let's see. Oh my gosh. So this is just a documentation showing how to do those animations. Okay. But I wish I found one that's make animated diagram. So these are videos. Okay, let me see. But I'm sure you all understand what I'm talking about, right? Some good. Can you see this thing moving? You see it's moving here. You see it's moving here. You see, moves to this place. So architectural diagrams that can simulate different movements. You understand? So if you want to even make it that interactive, it's very possible. Do you understand? You can go and watch YouTube videos, or you can even use this article here. Somebody used PowerPoint. This is PowerPoint that this person used to do all these things. You understand? Spicing up AWS architecture diagrams, a step-by-step guide to creating animated AWS architecture GIF. So let me share this with you all. If you think it's going to be helpful to you, let me share it with you. All right. So, yeah, I don't intend today's session to be too lengthy. Yeah. So I don't want it to exceed more than 1 hour. So ideally, this is what this is what we want. This is the scope of the project that we plan for you all. Okay. Any questions so far, please? Any question? Any question? If you have a question, this would be the good time to ask me. So, um,
Sure,
so
sir. Good
you,
evening, sir.
not sure who is talking, but
Good evening, sir.
okay, go ahead, please. I can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Sure. This might be out of the distance, but once we do this project, how do we put it in the CV? Like, what's the arrangement of our CV supposed to look like when it comes to after this project, or will that be shown to us later?
Okay. Now, okay, I'm going to discuss with what's his name, Chief Abiola, after this session, right? So that because I was hoping that he's going to handle the CV preparation and LinkedIn optimization and how to all those things on for visibility, right? So I'll discuss with him and then we can give you guys a date. It's possible it could be this week again, right? Now, but putting this thing on your project, it's so there are different ways you can document, you can do this stuff, right? You can choose to have a portfolio, right? What do I mean by portfolio? You can simply choose to have a simple HTML and CSS website. If you go to some of those startup templates that we've shown you, you see some websites there that are portfolios. You can edit those images and then put the images of your projects, put the titles, and put the documentation that explains the project. Do you understand? For each of the projects or things we've taught you, each of the services we've taught you, we created one or two simple projects on it. When we touched IAM, we did some projects on it. When we touched EC2, we did something on it. When we touched S3, we did a project on it. When we did RDS, we did a project on it. When we did R53, we did a project on it as well. You understand? We did the same thing too on CloudFront. Do you understand? So you can create a documentation, okay, step by step on each of those services, or you can create a project like what we are teaching you guys now that is going to put together all those projects. You understand? Now, one thing I can tell you is this: recruiters want to see how much you know and how you present what you know. Do you understand? It may not necessarily be that you know 50 or 100 services. Do you understand? But how much do you know, and how do you convey what you know? Do you understand? So you can documenting it either on your personal blog or on a simple portfolio website or on a YouTube channel, or even having a technical platform where you write your articles and just push it out there. Do you understand? Now, with regards to this particular project, you understand? Of course, your job now is to now tell a story. Now, I don't want to be the one telling you guys how you, because it requires, this is what you guys are supposed to do in the project, right? So there should be somebody that is going to be putting everything together, the whole thought process and everything you guys did from beginning to the end. Do you understand? So once you get that documentation, you can still translate the same thing for your project platform. You can now put the respective image and choose to say that you worked with a team on so project, and this was the goal of the project, and this was your contribution to that particular project. Now, the reason why I chose this style, right, is so that when you are having interviews as a cloud engineer, right, you want to be able to tell recruiters that you've worked with a team before, okay? You understand what it means to collaborate with a team. You understand where people have different distinct roles, and this is the role you are playing. You understand? You've been able to do different kind of things. Do you understand? That's the concept rather than what we've been doing before. You understand? Where we say how to set up a WordPress blog and you use this. That is good as well. But this is also more unique. And that's why I'm doing this. So, however style you want to use to document this project, either video based, article based, I think that should be the decision you will make. You understand? I hope that helps. I do not know who asked the question, but please
Yeah, it
confirm if
helps.
that
Thank you.
helps.
Yeah, thank you,
Okay,
sir. It
Mr.
helps.
Okay, Mr. Banjogo. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So okay, any other question before although I'm supposed to say something to every one of you, right? Now, because there is a whole lot of things on AWS, right? There's a whole lot of if you've watched all the review sessions, mentorship sessions, I usually share a lot of links and some things. So I want to encourage you all to still learn more. There's so many other services that you're supposed to learn. I couldn't put all those services in the 8 weeks. Why? Because I didn't want to overwhelm you all. Okay. So you might see other services being talked about out there. You might see other services being utilized out there. With the little you've learned, trust me, if you do some little research and go through some materials, articles, or videos, you will be able to learn some of these services with some little effort. You understand? And asking questions here and there. Okay. But that is if for any reason you are not going for the intermediate program. This is me telling you that this program is, I don't want to use the word self-sufficient, but this program is a good kickstart, right? It has given you the base, the foundation that you can use to launch into your cloud engineering career. Okay, so if you now decide you want to go into cloud security, you want to focus on cloud data and data engineering, or you want to focus on DevOps, the DevOps side of things, you understand? It's very, very possible. All you need to do is now go out there and say, what are the services in AWS I need to learn to become a cloud DevOps engineer or a cloud security engineer or a cloud data engineer? You understand? And then you can now choose to narrow on it and or a cloud developer and start learning it. Do you understand? So, but one thing we've done is to give you the right foundation that can help you understand how to connect and link all the services together. I really hope this is helpful to anybody. Okay. And please don't forget, I will always be accessible to you all. Okay. If I'm not active on Telegram, right, you can reach me on Twitter. If I am not responding or I'm not active there for any reason, I've not been available there for a long time, please, you can send me a message on LinkedIn as well. Okay. Or on WhatsApp. Okay. Or my phone number. I've shared my phone number before. Okay. So I'm not hostile to anybody. So, but please do not hesitate to ask me career questions or something that you know will help you to progress your career. Okay, good. So let's answer more questions. Yeah, Lambda, Mr. Enoch. Yeah. Can you please throw some light on cloud specializations like solutions architect? So solution architect is a very, very lucrative role, right? Now it's a broad term. It's a role that a lot of people do not actually know what it entails. Okay. Now, because some people, once they just write the AWS solutions architect exam, they think they are automatically a solutions architect. It's not true. It's not true because a solutions architect has a lot of experience under his belt. He literally knows a lot of things. He knows how to design, develop, and deploy workloads. He knows a whole lot of things. Okay. Now, but many persons, many programs, many videos out there will just organize a program and just teach you some few things and tell you that once you write the certification and pass, you're a solutions architect. While that may be half truth, it's not complete truth. You understand? So there are a lot of specializations, like I've mentioned before. You understand? Solutions architect is one of them. You understand? So, but learn as many services as you want to learn, but know how to solve problems with them. Okay, know how to solve problems with them. Okay, I think that should be helpful. Okay, can you talk about cloud data engineering and how I can go about it? Time will fail me on how to talk more about it. But if you can reach out to me, I'll try and see if I can send you some resources on how to get started with cloud engineering. Okay, cloud data engineering. So especially if you have a good foundation on what is it called? On data analysis, you can also delve into cloud data engineering, especially you already have foundation on cloud right now. So it will be very easy for you. In fact, I hope to start my cloud data engineering training. I've been learning it, but I think I want to use a different approach by next year. I'll be learning in the public. Now I've done it before, but I want to assume like I'm a complete beginner and see what it's like when I'll be documenting my learning. Okay. And see what it's like. So I'll see if I'm going to get recruiters reach out to me because I want to delve into cloud engineering as well. I do it, right? But there's some things because if you know some things in DevOps, you will be very, very good in cloud engineering as well, cloud data engineering, okay? Because it's intertwined. All right. Okay, good. So let me see the sample. Can you reshare your phone number? Sure. Let me reshare my phone number again. So plus 234 7064464 016. Okay. There you go. Let me see, Mr. Somebody shared portfolio. Let's see. Camera 2, Python anywhere. Awesome. This is looking beautiful. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. So this is good. It's a good one. Thank you for sharing. So maybe it's an internet issue. If it's not an internet issue, I think most of these spaces are too much, right? It's too much. I think you should work on it. But if it's not an internet issue, please. The spaces are too much. The white spaces are too much. Okay, especially because the text is not full. It's not much text, so you might want to look into that. Okay, but this is beautiful. I like it. All right. Thank you so much for sharing with us. All right. So somebody say, okay, I've shared the number. Thank you, Mr. Baraka. Also, I came across AWS Lightsail Amplify for hosting website. Can you maybe throw more light on them? Yeah, and they are deployment tools. Okay, they're just like EC2 instance, they are compute instances. So we will be touching it. Okay, this is Mr. Victor asking. So don't worry, you'll be learning it in your intermediate program. So don't worry. All right, thank you, Mr. Teslim, for telling me it's loading. Thank you. So, Mr. Victor, I hope that answers your question. You'll be learning it since you're already enrolled for the intermediate class. So you'll be learning it there. So any other question from anybody? Mr. Emmanuel, your hands is up. Do you have a question for me?
Yeah, my question is on the duration of this project.
Yes, sir.
I kind of doubt if 1 week will be enough, considering that we'll have to learn new tools and work with them before we even implement the actual project. Then, secondly, except if you're going to throw more light on it on Friday, I don't know how to collaborate on a cloud project. I'm aware of collaboration with web development through GitHub, where you can commit, clone, test what others have done. But with AWS, with this cloud, except with Jira, I've not worked with Jira before. I don't know how we can do that real time without affecting the AWS account, because I believe whatever we are doing is on that account.
Well,
that's my conclusion. I don't know how you're going to.
Well, this is one of the things that you will need to discuss with your team, and then you guys will come out with a solution to solve it. But one thing I think we will have a session on that Friday, so that I'll throw more clarity on the project. Do you understand? So even if I will touch on the things I mentioned, it will just be brief, very, very brief on them, so that I can even share you resources to go and watch and learn more, or read some articles to learn more. I may not dive deep on it the way I used to do during our live sessions. You understand? Because if I want to teach each one of them, they are very, very lengthy. Do you understand? I will want, my approach of teaching. I always want to take my time. You see that? So, but because of that, it means we're going to have like 3, 4 sessions, right, for each of those topics. You understand? And of course, we don't want to make it too lengthy again. You see that? So I'll see what I can do to just do a recap on each of those things on Friday. Yeah, I think I finally agreed. Yeah, let's have the Friday session. So we'll just do a short recap on each one of them, and then we'll just do a small overview again on the entire project so everybody understands. So by that Friday, I expect you all to be able to know yourselves, okay? Because we're going to drop the list on the group. You understand? I'm going to drop the list on the group. So I don't know if that I don't think that will be a problem now. Even if you know that this person is in a social group, I don't think it should cause a problem. Else, I would say we'll just send an email so that each persons know their group members. But I don't think there's no need to be discreet about those information. I mean, we we are family, and then we've known ourselves, and we're not so much that we should have a problem with knowing which team this person belongs to. You understand? So once we get those information, then I expect that by Friday, then or what will happen is this: we expect that by Saturday before 12 noon, we should be able to get a feedback from the team lead that will tell us how long it will take for the project. We expect 1 week. If you guys want more than 1 week, we will know. You understand? So, but okay, I will be unfair if I say I'm considering my intermediate training, because the longer this it takes, but that's not a problem. It will take as much time as possible so that you all can understand this. So if you guys think 1 week is too short, the team leads will get back to us, and they will know how much more days. You understand? Then we'll know how to finish it. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right. So, somebody say, please, how do we select a team or topic? How do we join themselves? So I hope that we've answered your question, Mr. Joshua. So we will let you all know the teams you belong to. You understand? And then we will just assign topics to you all, because if we are not physically all present here, else would have just do a kind of casting of lots and draw papers and tell you to choose whichever one you choose is your topic name. Else, sir. But or we can even go with the tech blog stuff I talked about, but we'll decide on that one. Okay. So yeah, as the project team's been shared, not yet, Mr. Victor. Okay. Yeah, so I believe I've answered everybody's question. Is there anybody that I'm omitting? Anybody? So yeah. Okay, so thank you so much, everybody. I don't think there's any questions that I've not responded to. Please, I want to encourage you to watch the recordings again and again. Okay, watch the recordings again and again. Try to understand them. Okay, so and I really wish you guys the best. All right. Yeah, so that will be all for today's session. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Jafar. You want to say something?
Yeah, I'm asking. I said, with your years of experience and then vast knowledge of the cloud and AWS, our strength of grasping things are not all the same. So for someone who is still a kind of dragging and would want to keep the fire burning, who still want to be consistent, it is man nature to see his progress and then feel very ignited as the journey continues. I don't know if this is clear.
No.
Okay. What I'm trying to say in essence is, now after this project, there are so many roles attached to the cloud. Just as you've mentioned, the cloud solution architect, associate, the cloud engineer, the cloud data, DevOps, SecOps, and all of those. Now, for someone, this is for complete beginners, and there are some persons whose knowledge of tech is way beyond some of us.
Mm-hmm.
and it will keep us on track if we can be seeing our progress. If we can be seeing our progress, even if it's as little as it may be. So now, out of all of those roles, which one doesn't really require a lot for one to be seeing his progress as he's learning?
The truth is this, if I understand your question very well, I want you to know that every role it's with this foundation that you all have right now, okay? So I have seen roles that are complex to a particular company and they are very, very simple to another company, especially things that has to do with cybersecurity, right? So I've seen some people that says they are security analysts in one company, and what they just simply do is just review policies. And another person in a different company is a cybersecurity analyst, and the guy does literally everything: incident response to penetration testing and the rest of them. Do you understand? So different companies, different policies, and different styles of implementation. Now, I said that's to say that regardless of the hats or area you choose to specialize, right? Now, with the foundation we've had right now, okay. Now you just they are literally AWS services, right? So you just each of these roles are very lucrative. Cloud security is something very, very lucrative. Now, but it's to me, it's one of the most paid um in the okay, in terms of categorization: cloud security, cloud DevOps, and then cloud data engineering, right? In the whole cloud specializations, right? These three are more in terms of company utilization and demand. You understand? Those are the skill sets that are being there are a lot of demands on it. Do you understand? So if you want to go into cloud security, a lot of times they also expect you to have a lot of foundational cybersecurity experience. Do you understand? And when I say cybersecurity foundational experience is you should be able to understand how some things work under hood. Okay? You should you might not necessarily have cybersecurity certifications like Security Plus and the rest of them, right? But at least you should have the foundational cybersecurity experience. Do you understand? So once you have the cybersecurity experience, then you can build upon it with the cloud and utilize the cloud for other security focuses. Do you understand? So the same thing with DevOps. You should be able to understand how DevOps works on premise and then learn how to DevOps works on the cloud. Do you understand? So either of them are very, very lucrative. These three I just mentioned. You understand? So, but the different markets place demand for different specializations. You have to be the one to look at different markets or different countries and say, okay, this is the country I want to probably get a remote job from, and then just type cloud and see the kind of roles that are coming out there. Is it cloud support? Is it cloud developer? Is it cloud DevOps? You understand? Is it cloud security? You understand? So, or is it cloud administrator rules? And then you can just apply. You get. So trust me, this I've seen people who work as cloud engineers, and all we've taught you all are some of them don't know as much as we've taught you all. You understand? So different companies, different expectation and requirements. I hope that answers your question, Mr. Jaffa, in some way,
Yeah,
or
it
giving you a
does.
clue on what to do. All right, good.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, friends. Thank you for joining us on today's session. So we will meet again on Friday for our brief introduction on the tools and technologies we will use for our project. Okay. So feel free to join if you know you don't have a problem using GitHub and Jira, and then creating it simple VPC. And I don't know if you guys might add auto scalers, but or and load balancing, but let's see. We might touch that. We will touch that in the intermediate. But if you guys can put it in your project, fine. That'll be plus. Okay, Mr. Babs, go ahead and then we'll wrap it up. So friends, yeah, we've actually ended the session. So, but Mr. Babs, do you have a question?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you so far. We are looking forward to having the class. Now,
You're welcome.
I observed something that whenever you're talking about real life job duty, especially for those in cloud computing or the cloud engineer, there is something that is recurring that you always say something like some of them don't even know as much as we've learned or maybe do as much as we've been taught. Yeah. But when we look at job duties, especially for vacancies, what you see there seems too numerous and sometimes complex. So that's I really don't understand. I really don't know why it's always like that. And you know, when you see things like that, you get discouraged. You won't even want to put in for such an application because you know that definitely you might not even be called up for an interview. So in such situations, what can you do as somebody is looking for maybe all these little gigs, even on LinkedIn, on Upwork and the likes. You see the way they put up all those, you must do this, you must be this, you must know this, you must you feel like let me not even bother myself about this. So I don't know what can we do considering that okay we've learned this much. I know there's just so many services to be learned, but I still know that we've learned something tangible. You understand? So, but all those vacancies, the duties, the responsibilities they put there is they are just too complex. So, what do you
Well,
think we can do?
being someone who has been in the job market, right? In other words, who has been job hunting, you come out job hunt, you get a job, and then you could decide to, you know what, I'm done with this job. I will just fire myself, or I could just terminate the job, and then I'll go back to training. That's been my journey. I could be doing a job right now, and if it becomes redundant, like I get tired of the job, I could literally just go back to training. You understand? Start organizing trainings, and then when I get feel like, oh my god, I'm focusing so much on training. Let me go back to get some more real world experience, right? I'll just go back to job hunting again, right? And sometimes I get jobs, right? Depending on the area I choose to focus, either cybersecurity, either DevOps, either cloud. You understand? So it just depends on the areas I want to focus or software development. You get so now, but because of this, my experience and exposure, right? I usually encounter different kind of things, and that is to say that sometimes when there is a job description, a lot of times, right? When I started earlier, I don't usually meet up to 80% of the job description or roles and responsibilities outlined on the job description. You understand? And it scared me from applying. But over time, when I began to learn more and understood what I know, you understand, you might not necessarily we'll talk about the salary. So we might not necessarily know, for instance, you might not know all the whole AWS services, but if you know 10 of those AWS services and you know them so well, right? For me, it's one of the confidence. So it got to a point that when I revamped my CV, and it was so massive, right? And so many things I have done, and the whole project I put on the CV, right? I looked at everything, and I can confidently talk about my experience, talk about the project, like I was so proud of my journey, right? And all the things I have done and what I know, right? So I was no longer scared. My confidence boosted, right? I was more confident in my skill, right? Because there was no question you will ask me that I will not be able to respond to, especially as outlined and detailed in my in my resume, right? So when I go for interviews or when I apply for certain roles, right? Now, if that made me that even if I get 50% of whatever the job description is, I apply anyway. Once I hit up to 50, I know 50% of everything they put there. I go ahead and apply. So in most cases, the recruiter reach out to me. And if the recruiter eventually reaches out to me, I'm no longer scared. Why? Because a lot of times the recruiter must have checked my resume, right? And be like, okay, this person has this, has this, has this. And because I know I can talk about what is on my resume, I'm not scared again. So a lot of times the recruiters, the recruiters that put out those job description, sometimes they are not so they are not necessarily telling you that this is all we need, right? You must have everything, right? But this is they are suggesting that these are the skills that are required for these roles. Okay, these are the skills that are required for these roles. Okay, and if you have half of these skills or if you have some of these skills, I think you'll be a good person that is fit for this role. You understand? Okay, let me mute Mr. Babs so that it doesn't um I think the background sound. Okay, you can always unmute yourself. Um so if you can get 50% of what you have on the job description, yes, go ahead and apply. You understand? Now the where it favors you is if they respond back to you, then and schedule an interview, then you should be able to talk about whatever you have on your resume because you don't want to lie, fabricate your resume, right? Or you blot your resume because you are trying to please what you saw on the job description. You know, you may see 10 20 skills required on the job description and then you tweak people advise us to tweak our resumes to suit the job description, right? As much as you want to do that, make sure you're not over bloating or you're not exaggerating so that you don't get between a fix whereby you cannot defend your resume. You understand? So that's very, very important. So again, in this industry, I've seen people who do not know a lot, really, really, honestly. Now, why I say this is because now this may not be 100% the case for companies in Africa, especially in my dear nation, Nigeria, right? Because it seems our founders they actually want people that has 100 years experience, right? Or 10 years experience. They are always excited when they find such people. Do you understand? So, and rather than give them the job, or if somebody is studying newly and has 1 to 2 years experience, rather than giving them the job, they'll convert it to internship. Why? Because they just want to pay you peanuts. They'll just target internship. You understand? And the job you will be doing is literally what you're supposed to be doing as an engineer. And then they just give you something to just hold yourself. You understand? And you might be excited and collect it. You understand? So, but for me, in different persons here have different responsibilities and things they are attending to in life, right? So, if money is something you really need to get because of your family and all the things, right? Of course, that should be a good factor. But if you say, okay, no, I'm actually looking out for the the job first. Let me just get a job, regardless of the pay. Let me get the experience. You understand? So that I can put in my CV that I've just gotten my first cloud job. Great. You understand? So you should also consider that. Okay. So I think that should be fair, right? So but please don't feel intimidated about any job description. Go through it. You understand? A lot of times you may see some job description whereby it's something, it's a skill you know or you have. They just choose to change the name or they presented it in a different way a lot of times whenever I see some job description, I could I will copy everything, take it to AI and ask AI to interpret it. You understand? And then I could give my CV to AI and tell my CV, can you measure how much does my CV match with this job description? You understand? Am I a good fit for this job? What are the skills required? You understand? So with the AI, I'll be able to know what to do. You get my point, right? So please, I want to encourage you all to use AI. There are a lot of AI platforms there. You understand? Cloud, Chat GPT, what is it called? Is it Bang or so? There's so many of them out there. You understand? So you want to utilize them to also solve your problems, these challenges. Okay. All right. So I hope I've answered your questions, Mr. Babs. Right? Okay. How did you do the project and put it on a CV portfolio? Because it's one thing that always bothered me, even during the process of this. Okay. I'm sure I work on 3 personal projects. So now there are different ways people outline their projects, right? So in most cases, it might just be in form of you. So like I said, do you want to put it in a resume style or do you want to put it in a portfolio style? Do you understand? When I say portfolio style, like you want to have a, a portfolio website whereby you document your project. And if you click on each project, it will look like a documentation for that project. Tells you what the project is, tells you what the project does, shows you an image, put all the technologies you worked on in the project. You understand? So it looks like a resume, but it's a portfolio that you can find online. Or do you want to use the resume, the CV one that we always put on PDF or Word document, whereby you just want to outline and say, I did this project and the project used this technology, this is what I used for the project. You understand? So that's the conventional one a lot of person use, but you can always have both of them too. I hope that answers your question. All right. So if I can, I'll look around and see if I can find some of my older CV or resume and I'll share it with you guys. Okay. Is CloudFront a service on AWS or is just part of? Yes, it's a service distinct from Route 53. Okay. CloudFront is for CDN and Route 53 is for DNS. Okay. Okay, that's fine, Mr. Babs. Okay. So friends, I think we've stayed longer and I've addressed all the questions you all asked. Thank you so much for joining the session. And if there are no more questions, thank you, Mrs. Baccarat. I'm sure I don't know the name, but Mrs. Yeah, Barakat rather. Thank you so much for your kind words. Thank you. Azasco, don't be scared. Just go ahead and apply. Please, there are a lot of things you guys can do. Go to people's DM. I'll try and look for some things. There's some things I saw that you guys can literally utilize. Do some cold emailing, reach out to companies and tell them you want to work with them as a cloud engineer. Or let's see, I'll discuss with Chief Abiola. He can come around. I'm sure these are a lot of areas he has strength in, and you guys can learn how to do this so that you can get a job. Okay. All right, friends. Thank you so much. And
Sorry, just one last question.
yeah.
So the last class, I wasn't part of the last class, so I had to follow the
Mhm,
video.
mhm.
After you were done, when you wanted to change the domain, sorry, when you wanted to change the web address, right? So I tried doing it, but I don't actually have a domain. So I guess that's why it didn't work on my end. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
A little bit, but now you just said it. There was this domain I saw. Something serve. Oh God, help me. There was this domain I saw for Nigeria for people in Africa. Domain. Um, it's very cheap. It's like 2,000 naira. So it's 2,000 or 1,000 naira. I saw to get the domain for 1 year, right? So I can't really. If I find it, I'll let you all know, right? So you can actually use that. But please,
Can it be also put on AWS, like
Yes, yes. Like I said to you all, if you register your domain elsewhere, you can map it to Route 53. Yes, I even showed a demo in one of the sessions on how to do that. I told you where to do it. Do you understand? Yep.
yeah.
So I also told you all that you can get free domains and all those things from GitHub student partnership, right? You can discuss with somebody and just meet somebody that can help you with a student email, right? And you can actually sign up and they'll give you one. Okay, please guys, look into it. Something you'll find a lot of value in it. Okay. Okay, all right. You want to write an exam? Okay, my all the best by December. All the best, Mr. Prince. Okay, you can reach out to us so that we can query you a lot to test you and know if you are ready. Okay. Mr. Adeboye, I hope I've answered your question. I hope that's helpful.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay. All right, friends. If you allow me, I will just keep staying here with you all, and I won't want you to go. All right. Thank you so much, and good night. Udabo. Say Watarana or say Friday, whichever one. So catch you for enable. All right, let me stop the recording. Yep. Sayonara. What's sayonara? I don't know what that means.